The NHL trade deadline is 5 days away, and the Oilers need to make some significant moves in order to be serious contenders. There's a few players I'm being told they're interested in. There's also a few players I know they're not getting. In this video, I'm going to be giving you my opinion on the certain players who are actually available and what it would take to possibly land them. So buckle up and yeah, enjoy. Oh, we're almost at 4,000 subs, so sub as well. I can confidently say the Oilers will not be looking for a goalie. They are going into the playoffs with Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard as their tandem, whether you like it or not. Unless something unforeseen happens, that's your guys. That's who they're going into the playoffs with. I also just want to say any talk on Jake Gensel becoming an Oiler should stop. There's no way the Oilers could make this happen. I question the Oilers management a lot, but I know they're not dumb enough to do this, especially because he would just be a rental, and I don't mind rentals, but at the expense of a first, a top prospect, and a roster player, yeah, but no thank you. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's continue. First up, the Oilers have been in talks with the Flyers all season long, and especially recently, but the player they're interested in isn't the one you've all been thinking of. Sean Walker is the guy the Oilers do have some interest in, and not gonna lie, I don't mind this at all. If he joins the Oilers, he's already the second best right shot defenseman. He's a way better skater than Evan Bouchard, Ceci, and Desharnais. He's not afraid to put the puck on the net. He's got a great first pass, and he's most definitely an improvement on the blue line. My only worry is the asking price. What I've heard is it's a first and a roster player for a rental, and like that's the thing. There's a lot of talk saying, oh, like why would the Philadelphia Flyers get rid of Sean Walker? Well, apparently he doesn't want to re-sign there, so they're trying to get something for him, kind of like what you saw with Calgary Flames getting rid of Lindholm. Like Lindholm had told them that he probably wasn't going to sign in Calgary. So what do? You try and get rid of, you try and get assets for a guy that doesn't really want to be on the team. So what I've heard is the asking price is a first and a player, and I don't know if you'd give a first up for a guy that's he's decent, but I don't think, you look at Matthias Ekholm, the Oilers traded a first to get him along with Reed Schaefer and Tyson Barrie, but it was a first, and it made sense. Matthias Ekholm is that guy. He's that good. I don't think Sean Walker is, so I think the asking price is a little too high, but who knows? We'll see. I do think Walker and these next two players, I'm going to say the Oilers do have significant interest in. Now, whether or not they land one of these guys is a completely different thing. Up next, this is a player I certainly would love to see the Oilers get. Pavel Buchnevich. This guy really checks off a lot of boxes. Very versatile player. He's just as good as a playmaker as he is a goal scorer, which would just be huge playing with the likes of Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl. And he's not the smallest guy either. If the Oilers could pull this off, I can't tell you how much of a difference that would make this Oilers team. But in saying that, money in, money out. The Oilers would have to be pretty creative with this trade in order to make it work, because the Oilers have next to nothing in cap space. So maybe a third team is involved. It is worth mentioning he has 1 year left on this deal, but if the Oilers were to pull this off, it would most likely be a roster player, maybe Fogel, a prospect, and this year's first. And if you're wanting them to retain anything, which they might have to, you might have to give up a little bit more. Okay, and last but not least, the more and more I think about this player, the more and more it makes sense. Personally, I do not think Adam Henrique is the Oilers' first choice come this trade deadline. But if nothing else works, I think this is the guy they'll be gunning for. Adam Henrique is currently having a career year on a team that doesn't really have much going for them. Getting a responsible veteran who plays center would just be awesome for this Oilers team. You look what Bukestad did for the team in his short stint with the Oilers last year, I'd argue Henrique is slightly better than Bukestad. To have a potential third line involving Adam Henrique, Corey Perry, and Evander Kane, like, am I crazy, or does that not just scream playoff line? I honestly would love to see that. I really would. It would give the Oilers just so much more options to explore up front, and like I said, I don't think this is their first choice, but I could see it happen. And I don't think you'd have to give up as much either, but in saying that, Kenny Holland would still have to be pretty creative because he's not really the cheapest player coming in, just under $6 million. So, there you have it. The trade deadline is upon us, and I cannot freaking wait. Who do you think the Oilers should target? What do you think makes most sense? Or should they even make a trade? Drop a comment down below as I read every single one. Thanks for all the continued support, guys. I really appreciate it. I plan on uploading a fair bit this week, as it is going to be a busy one. With that being said, don't be average when you can be above average, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!